speaker attribution Microsoft Teams room, knowing that Microsoft just rolled out this month the new version, new Teams 2.0 rolled out this month. And I'm going to just showcase a few little features. Just to kind of remind you where things are located now. So I'll showcase some of that. But before we get started, let me talk about Journey to the Cloud. So Dan, Ray, Matthew, Solomon, and Frank are the founders of Journey to the Cloud. Remind me again, guys, when you guys kicked off. I think you're either 2 or 3 years old.
2022, I believe.
Yeah.
Frank, does that sound right? Solomon?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
We weren't monthly. We were like whenever we were all available. It was haphazard.
Yeah.
And so what is Journey to the Cloud? I always like to have a quote. They empower, connect, and inspire individuals and IT professionals. This is a place where we share our expertise, network, and inspire each other. You don't have to be an MVP to be part of this group. I connected with this group
about everybody. Here we are in
a year ago. Let me see if I can switch this to here. There we go. About a year ago, I connected with this group, and Dan was traveling and needed a volunteer for someone to moderate, and I've been moderating ever since. So a great team. If you are interested in joining our group, reach out to any of us and connect, and we'll give you some information. We are looking for people to do newsletter. Come and share your expertise. It doesn't matter what application you're in. For an example, Dan and I are in Microsoft Apps and Services. Frank is an Azure guru. And Pratat is also a Azure. He's an AI expert. So we all have different diverse backgrounds. And what I really love about this group, we're all from all over the world, right? So Dan and I are from the US. Matthew and Frank is from Ireland. Solomon is from the UK. And we have Pratat, who is from India. So, feel free to reach out to us. If you not comfortable just yet to share your expertise, make sure you join us every first Thursday of the month, and we get together at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, we do have a newsletter. We are affiliate with the Microsoft Speaker Hub. So if you haven't subscribed yet, join us there. Again, we share expertise through writing. So if you are not a speaker, that's okay, because we need people to post their articles about their product on our in our group as well. And we have a newsletter. So I always like to give the founders of this group a moment to introduce themselves and share some information. So who wants to go first? And this cracks me up every month. No one wants to go first, so I have to choose who's ever in line. So Frank, you're up first.
Okay. Thanks, Teresa. I'm Frank Falvey from Cork in Ireland, and I've been on here for a couple of years now, and I also host the Azure and the AI show on Saturday at 3 p.m. Is it 3 p.m. Eastern, Dan?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
And it's 7 p.m. GMT, or Irish time, or UK time. So lately I've been doing a lot with Copilot, the new Copilot in Office 365.
Yep.
It's Word, Outlook, Excel, and PowerPoint. And I'll probably be doing some more of it on Saturday. So anybody interested, come on Saturday. Okay, over to you, Dan.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Dan Ray. I became an MVP in February 2022, and Matthew Brown, one of the other founders, reached out to me. And unlike some people that reach out and just, I want to become an MVP, and they don't necessarily listen to your, suggestions, or they don't follow through with online events. Matthew not only connected me with Frank and Solomon and so many others over in Europe, but was very instrumental in getting us together and putting together, agendas and times and making sure that journey to the cloud happened. We used to do like version 1, version 2, version 3. I think we made it up to about 9. And then in 2023, Matthew, Frank, and I decided we would try to do this monthly. And then Frank started the Azure and AI show. So he's been going a year and a quarter? Like 15 months, 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats, Frank.
And I'll turn it over to Solomon.
Every week.
Yeah.
Great. Hello, everyone. My name is Solomon. I am a Microsoft MVP. And yes, I joined the journey to the cloud around 2022. And I remember that the first event we had, I spoke about PIM. That's in Azure, and from there we decided to be having this event, and not just having the event, we started reaching out to professionals in IT field, and at some point we started reaching out to professional in any field, as long as you have something to share with us that we can learn from. And we started growing, and as the years was going by, we had the AI show coming out from the journey to the cloud. We also have the Microsoft Speakers Hub, where different IT professionals, they go there, they post technical articles that they have. And we also have them posting some videos from their YouTube channel so that people can always, come there and get useful resources. And today, we are here again, and we would be having another show. Although previously we were having it like more often, but now I think the AI show has taken the position of making it more often, because we get that every week. But this comes up once every month. And yeah, thank you so much, Teresa and Pratap, for hosting us today. Yeah, and thank you everyone also for joining us here, Paul. And your name is actually a bit Antares, yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, thank you all. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for that. I always forget to introduce myself. My name is Teresa Cyrus. I'm from the Pittsburgh area, also an MVP. Started with this group about a year ago now, and having a really good time. I'll go ahead and just quickly let everybody else who has joined us today do a quick introduction. Go ahead, Pratad, if you want to introduce yourself, and Paul, and then I'm terrible with names, and I'm glad to have another female on the show with me today. And please pronounce, I'll let you go first. Please pronounce your name for me, and, girl power today.
Woo! Hi, I'm Antares Leask, and I'm an academic moving into tech. So my big exciting focus is to help educators prepare for AI, because there's a lot of bad information out there, and it was immediately demonized and vilified, and I want to help them out and see the good that Copilot can do.
Well, what I would love to do then, once you start to get a feel of things, come back and share your learnings with this group, because we're all looking and in the same boat as you, learning as we go. So let's learn together. Learn and share together. Okay, Pratad.
It's me. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are from. And once again, a very happy birthday, Teresa. And today is very special day. And so I'm Pratap Reddy. I'm basically living in Chennai, in India. So I'm a AI MVP. So that is only because of our inspiration, Dan Ray. So thank you so much, Dan, for your consistency toward our journey to the cloud, and you are invited me for the journey to the cloud in 2020. And Solomon, you invited me for the Azure AI show, and Frank is the man who behind backbone of this Azure AI show, and Teresa, Dan, and everyone. So we are the. It is not a tech community; it's a family of innovations. So we love our communities. We are very very welcome to everyone who is the part of our community. Not community; it's our family. So please welcome to the journey to the cloud and Azure AI show. So the journey to the cloud, we have to conduct every once in a month, but the Azure AI show we have to conduct every month. I think we already celebrated 1 year anniversary for the Azure AI cloud, Azure AI show, and probably next year we can. So it's 18 months till now. So it's consistently we are working on it. Thank you so much for this opportunity to become the AI MVP because of this journey only. And thank you so much, all of you. And this is about the small info about me. And thank you so much, Teresa,
Um,
Dan,
I'm
Frank.
there's one thing that I'm going to capture from this. You said IT innovative family.
Yeah,
I love that. So I'm going to be posting that out on our group. IT innovative family. So that's
yeah.
great. Paul, you want to introduce yourself?
You're on mute.
I feel a bit nervous with all this Microsoft royalty in front of me. But I've been training in Microsoft for 20 years. In the last year or two, I've been focusing more on Microsoft training, and I just want to learn and see if I've got anything to share.
Very good. I love your post on LinkedIn. Put a lot of great information out there. So, yeah, thanks for sharing your knowledge. We had to get you to do a share some new tips with us with Classic Outlook.
Yes.
Now, do you do more than Outlook?
Yeah, I do Outlook, I do Teams. So Microsoft Office is my baby, but I'm doing SharePoint now. People are getting me in to help them with SharePoint. And I want to become a Power Automate expert, but I find the whole thing too confusing. Nothing ever works when I use it.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for sharing. And so, let's see if I can get this right. So, today is a special day, April the 4th. One, it's my birthday, and also it's Microsoft anniversary. Now, I didn't realize that Microsoft, was born or started on this day. But what I like to do is I was thinking about I posted some pictures of them in the 70s, so I found some old pictures of me in the 70s as well, and thought that it would be fair to share. I always post this one picture. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. I always post this one picture. The GTO gets more, it's a GTO, gets more attention than me. I posted this on Facebook, and that's my dad's car. He got more attention than even me. So what I want to do is, again, I didn't realize that Microsoft started on this day. When I was at MVP Summit, Tom Reesing shared with me that, hey, his wife's birthday is also April the 4th, and it was Microsoft's date. So what I want to do is I want to test you guys and see if you know some of the history about Microsoft. And let me get to my questions. So the first question for you guys, do you know the city and the state where Microsoft was first headquartered in 1975?
Yes, I do. I'm not sure if anybody else does.
I think I do.
Okay.
I saw that one in one article, Microsoft Tech Community article. Yeah.
And where they were headquartered?
Redmond?
Is it New Mexico?
It's in New Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it was in New Mexico when they started, and then what they did, like again, 4 years later, they end up reloading to Washington to Redmond, and that's when they went there. Now, do you know how Microsoft got its name?
What?
Hmm.
How did Microsoft come up with Microsoft?
Microsoft is probably like,
I'd have to guess on this. Go ahead, Solomon.
but I can guess though. So my guess is from the name Microsoft is more like we are thinking of small computers, right? And we're trying to build small computers. I know because the idea was of Bill Gates was more about, taking those big computers and making them into smaller devices. So I guess that's my guess though, but I've never thought of it.
So Bill Gates and Paul Allen, because I failed to share their names, Bill Gates and Paul Allen, what they did was they came up with microprocessor. So they took the micro off of processor and software. So that's how they came up with Microsoft. They took the processor off and they took the where off of software. So some information, and they said by the end of 1978, Microsoft sold about 1 million, and in 1979, that's when they moved to Redmond, to the Seattle area. And Gates and Allen, they both had grew up there. So here's another question: do you know what year Microsoft became a public trading company? What year? So they kicked off in 75. They moved to Redmond in 78. When did they go public on trading company?
Um, 86, right?
In
1980.
86, almost.
1986.
In 87. So I'm going to let you have that, Solomon. That was very close. But what caught my interest on this one is in 87 they became a public company, and Bill Gates was 31 years old. A Harvard University dropout, became the world youngest billionaire.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
That's why that was really interesting to me.
And one thing I know that so he wanted to become a millionaire. I mean, before 30 years ago, but he's a billionaire at the age of 30, 31 or 30.
Yeah, yeah. 30. Can you imagine being a billionaire at 31? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. All right. So, anybody else have any Microsoft? And if you notice, I added the Microsoft original logo on this screen as well. I was laughing. That's why I end up sharing some pictures of me when I was a little girl in the 70s with glasses, because I was looking at these pictures with Bill Gates glasses, looking at a floppy disk. Some of you guys, depending on your age, don't even know what a floppy disk looked like. And Dan and I, and if you look at the computers the way they looked back then, Dan and I was also talking about PowerPoint, and some of the features are still there from the early 90s. I remember printing things out on a overhead or using the 35 millimeters. They still have those options in PowerPoint, but nevertheless, I've been following this group for quite some time. Been a Microsoft fan. Didn't realize we shared the special day. Okay, Dan, you are up.
Okay. Let me see if I can get into this meeting here. Okay, and we'll do a present and screen. And we'll do the main screen here.
And while Dan is loading, anybody who's watching us and watching the replay, if you have any, Microsoft history tidbits, please share them in the comments. It'd be great to look at later on as well.
Yeah, so Antares and I are presenting later this month at CommsB Next in Denver, Colorado, about speaker attribution. Antares is our title. Who can it be now? Microsoft speaker attribution in Teams. And then we're also going to show some of the AI capabilities with Surface devices that Microsoft has introduced. So essentially in Teams, if you go to the settings and then recognition on the far left, there's both voice and face profiles that you can set up in Microsoft Teams. And the easiest place to show that is in a video that Teresa, you'll be happy to hear that I used Camtasia to create. So let's see if we can pull that up real quick here. Of Teams 2.0, and we've gone to the three dots in the upper right, settings, and then we're going to choose recognition and set up a voice profile for Microsoft Teams rooms and speaker attribution. This is how Teams certified devices that allow for voice isolation and recognition to recognize your voice. You set up a voice profile and a face profile. So the first thing we do is set up the voice profile, and we read this on either a Mac using the Teams 2.0 client or a Windows device using the Teams 2.0 client these days. Hey there, Teams. I'll talk for a few seconds to help you get to know me. It takes more than just a few seconds or a sentence or two, because there are lots of details about my voice that you need to learn to be able to recognize me when I speak up in a meeting. And it's okay if I don't read this perfectly. You can let me know if I need to start over. This allows it to learn my voice. And then after we've done voice recognition, we can also capture facial features here within the software as well. So we isolate our photo, and then we take that photo, and then it's going to ask me to take a profile this direction so it can recognize me if I'm tilted, and then a photo this direction if I'm tilted the other way. And then it looks like it wants me to look up a little bit and then look down. And now to the different sides. So it does all four corners, and then you have both your voice and your photo that Microsoft can isolate if you're in a Teams room. So instead of just conference room B, somebody's speaking, Antares, Dan, whoever else has a profile can be identified by our voice as opposed to just the room that we're speaking in.
Definitely, I can try this one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There are a couple PowerShell commands they have to execute on the tenant. I learned that the hard way, and Josh Bullock from CommsB Next, I watched his video to figure out which were the two that I had to set. And Timmy Tope, welcome. Thanks for joining. You're on mute right now, just so you're aware.
Hi everyone, good evening, good day, it's evening here. Happy birthday, Teresa.
Thank you. Thank you. Her message to me was really cute. She called me Mama T.
Mama T to the world.
Thought that was
Hi,
cute.
Dan. Hi, Solomon. Hi, everyone. Hi, Katap.
Hello.
Dan, I was glad to hear you say Dan attended my Camtasia basic course, and he's using some of the techniques that I shared. So that was great. It was really interesting to see that and give it a try. Now, how easy is it for someone who is not familiar with that software, that application? How easy is it to use?
I'd say that what you introduced me to was that kind of
No,
quick.
I'm more so talking about the Teams application.
Oh, good question. I thought you were talking Camtasia still. Teams 2.0 or the new Teams is fairly easy. And as of April 1st, it's now the default that Microsoft is pushing out unless your company controls that. Probably the biggest change for me was having OneDrive in the left navigation or the navigation pane, whatever you're going to call that, left rail, left side rail. That was the thing that caught my attention the first.
Yeah. I'm glad that it's there. I'm going to share my screen.
Sure. I can bring it up here. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have still been fumbling. So what I'm going to do is share some new features or reminders of Microsoft Teams. This is the new Teams, and how do we know that it's new? We'll see this little logo up in the left-hand corner to say new Teams. But a couple of quick little things. Just remember, when you search here, you can search messages, files, groups, and teams. You can search for people. I am in my tenant training tenant. So if I'm looking for Nestor, I'm looking for the person or any messages or files that he has contributed to or have access to will come up on my screen. If you just want to filter just on the files itself, you can do that. So one thing that I want you to know, that you can search through all the teams when you do it from there. Don't forget, we still have the slash that gives us some attributes. I did notice that they have shortened this list. So I don't know if they felt like some of the other options that they provided was not used, and we gained YouTube, Power BI, and the praise. So don't forget that you can easily, quickly come in here and type the stuff in to take care of an action. But what's new is, if you know that you are in a particular team, and you can actually do a Control F to search on a keyword. And I'm just going to do general because I'm not sure what's all in here. So, oops. Try again. Let's see if this comes up. Let's try this one up here. Okay. Control F and lunch. So what that'll do is pull up information just out of this particular team or channel versus searching the universe of teams. So wanted to share that with you. Couple things under the settings. Don't forget, if you are like me and love to use shortcuts, they have a lot of new shortcuts. So, the Control A still works, Control B still works, but they do have their own set of shortcuts listed here. What I always like to advise people when they learning shortcuts, do a section at a time, right? So maybe take a screenshot of this area, or identify which shortcuts that you use the most often, or navigate the most often. Learn those first. Do it for about a month and then learn a next set. And then once again, you'll be on autopilot, knowing how to use these shortcuts. So there's quite a bit of them here. Couple other things around settings that I want to show you. I'm not going to cover off everything here, but there's a couple things that stood out for me. I like the fact up under accounts and orgs that all the tenants that I have access to are listed here. So even this one here, if I was under Teresa's, my primary account, I know that I need to accept Dan's tenant here, but I have easy access to get to my tenants. I can see what I have listed here. And again, these are my training accounts. When I look here, I can easily switch between these accounts if I need to. Really easy to do. And you can add one as well. So I wanted to showcase that. Under appearance and accessibility, I did not realize, maybe this was already part of Teams, but I didn't realize if you are having a major event, I know Pratat, you have a lot of events, just in case if you have anyone that has any type of disability, that you can actually give the sign language view, and whoever that person is, you just type in their name and they will show up on the screen and convey your message in sign language. That was huge. I didn't know this was there. I don't remember this. Do you guys remember this in Teams before? Did you know this was here?
Probably 6 months old. It's
No
fairly,
way. 6 months. It's newer
Yeah.
than that.
it's fairly new.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was there. I do like the new files and links here. So again, I'm a small business company of 1.5. And whenever I want to download, I like for things to go to my hard drive, not necessarily to the cloud. I have the ability to come in and change where I want my downloads to be. For me, as a small business, I have the business standard. I have 1 terabyte. So everything doesn't need to be in the cloud for me. And I can select that. Or you can always select, always ask me, where do I want it to go? Do I want it on OneDrive, which is in the cloud, or do I want it on my hard drive? So it wasn't sure if people was aware that this was available to you. You also have the option to say always open Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, either in Teams or in the browser. Now, what I didn't see was to open up in its native application, which is like desktop. So
And
I don't know if
Teresa,
that's coming.
that is business premium versus like an E3 license. I ran into that with a customer.
Okay.
And I was trying to troubleshoot it from my end, and they found the information. It's a business premium change that you
Yeah.
can associate with the app.
And I have one query. So can I ask Teresa?
Yes.
So for example, so recently my boss asked me one, I mean, one issue related to the Teams only. So there is an URL, YouTube URL, okay, that is opened in the chat. So whenever I click on that URL, it will redirect to the YouTube page, right? So what I need is, so whenever I click onto the URL, it will open in the Teams chat only. So I don't want to redirect to the any third-party browsers. So is there any way we can open that URL inside the Teams?
I have to investigate that a little bit.
There is
I
a way
think
that you can
I think
embed websites in channels per top.
yes, it can
Yeah.
work in channels.
No,
Yeah.
no. So I don't want to. Integrate to the channels into that. My boss know the solution, but he asked me to solve that. Query. So whenever I tap onto the URL, it will open in the Teams only. I mean, it is not redirect to any particular website like YouTube or whatever it may be. So it's still, inside the Teams only. I need to open that one. But I'm also researching that one. So
I want to be able to, I'm going to connect with you offline because I want to understand that a little bit more, because now you have me curious, right? So
yeah,
so let's take that offline, and because I do want to investigate that a little bit more.
sure.
Um under captions and transcripts, we always forget to turn on captions or transcripts when we're in our meetings. go ahead and have that set up. I would prefer, depending on what your needs are, I would prefer that it's on by default and being able to turn it off. And if there's any, profound words that are being used, it will be hidden as well. So make sure you take a look at the captions and transcripts options. Now, let me jump over to activity. Under activity, you do have, and this is from the regular version, the original version as well, but I just want to give you a reminder. You can say, hey, only show me, things that has been unread. And so that's going to clear out all this clutter that you see here, that you can say, I'm only need to focus on things that I haven't seen yet. The other option that you have too is, I have a tenant. I'm actually on an MVP tenant that has a lot going on. And I may just kind of scroll through and look at them quickly. And okay, I'm good. I didn't have to click on every one of them. But I do want to mark them all red. So if I mark them all red, now this is clear, right? Two clicks. This is one of my little, subtle but favorite features here, because again, that MVP tenant has a lot of content there, which is tied to my primary account. So I just wanted to showcase that. Let's take a look at teams. Well, let me do this because it's very easy. In the left navigation, Dan kind of talked about this just a little bit. We used to see the word files here. Now you're going to see OneDrive. One click is going to take me to OneDrive and I can see my content. We had that before. Again, if you in Teams files is really associated with what's in that for that team or that channel. But if you need to see all your content or what you have access to, you can now easily click to OneDrive. The other thing that I want to showcase is, Dan, I am so glad that I finally got the Microsoft Designer in the announcement. So probably, I don't know, 5-6 months ago, Dan already had this feature, and I was, so jealous that he had it and I did not. Now that you have the ability, when you create an announcement, because there is a difference. Let me just close out of here for a second. You have ability to just create a post where you're just typing in the subject and your message, or if you click on announcement, you now can choose from any of these wonderful headers. Now, depending on your team and or what you list as a subject is what you that AI generation is going to share with you, will give you some options to choose from. Or you can add an image. Why add an image and worry about trying to make sure that it's sized properly or whatever? That you have an option to choose one of these really nice images that's coming from Designer. So I was happy about that. You also now have easy access to create a Teams. Before, it used to drive me crazy down here at the very bottom. You had to, and it was missed. You don't always see it, but now they've actually made this very easy by putting the plus sign here to create a channel. Now, a channel or a team, what I will share with you when you're creating these, one of the nice things is that I want to actually do a team. Create a team. You can choose from templates. I don't see the templates here. If I want the templates, where are my templates?
It was at the top. Just do it again. More.
Yeah,
team. There we go.
So when you have a lot of templates to choose from, what I like about it, should you choose any of these templates, that it's showcasing what channels that it's going to give you and what apps that's going to automatically come with it, you can easily remove any of the channels that you don't want or rename them. Before, we didn't have that functionality to be able to easily go in and rename these and then remove what you don't want, that you're not going to use. Let's say I'm not going to actually use a issue tracker, but I do want to keep the project tracker. So they made it easy for us. Now, meetings. If you click on more apps, you're going to now see meetings, Meet. This is a new application. And what this is going to do is, I don't have any events here. I should have used my standard account. Let me switch over. So all my meetings are listed here. So this is, going to be very helpful. I can come in one place and look what's coming, or anything that I've missed, what was recorded, if I was mentioned in any of this. Again, I'm really just showing you very high level of what features are here. I will do a deep dive on another day. But what I do like about this is that I can come here in Teams, click on Meet in my left navigation. You can easily pin it, just right click and pin, and look at what's coming. If you have access to Copilot, again, under your more options or under your more apps, you can search for Copilot. You can have it available to you. Sorry about that. And I don't have Copilot right now for this particular tenant, and that's why I see this message here above. Now, Dan, you might can help me with this. This app and its contents will be deleted on Tuesday, April 30th. Did they give us, access to this for a little while and I didn't know?
They moved the 365 chat, I think, to the Copilot page. Mm-hmm. So I think you go to the Microsoft 365 start page. I got the same message that it's going away at the end of April.
It gave me the impression as if that I might have had a trial version of it.
No, it's actually the app, the Microsoft 365 chat, that's going away.
Yeah.
Not the Copilot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is what I wanted to share with you. Updates. I'm going to spend a little time here. One, I did not know about updates. When I was starting to use it, whenever I use an application or discover an application, I just go through a deep dive before I share it with you, right? And again, I'm just going to give you a high level overview of this. But one, I did not realize that this was created in 2022. This has been available to us for quite some time. I did look at the post on Tech Community because I'm a heavy contributor there. And when it was rolled out in 2022, people had mixed feelings about it. I wanted to ask this group, are you aware of updates? What it does is you can create almost like a form requesting, project weekly updates, or you want to find out what people's workload is like. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. But were you aware of this feature in Teams? And have you ever used it?
I have not. I haven't used it.
I've not used it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I was surprised. Again, it was rolled out back in 2022, and I stumbled across it in the last 30 days. But what it will do is go back to Adele. So think about if you are a leader and you want a weekly or bi-weekly, monthly updates on, your projects that you are managing and working on. And you as a leader, Adele is the leader of this team. She can create a form asking, what have you been working on recently? I created this, created it within like 5 minutes, didn't take long at all. What problems or blockers are you encountering? What have you accomplished this week? And how would you rate your current workload? And so what happens is over here in the settings, specific people in your organization, because I am a leader and I want to monitor what's going on with my team. And so I'm also can identify who are the folks that can view this. I could open this up where we share it across the whole team, or to be transparent, or I want to be the only one that see this information. I can specify the due date. So do I want this to occur, every weekday, daily, weekly, or monthly? Do I want to allow them require attachments? And is this still active? A lot of people was asking on tech community, they wanted to delete it. They don't allow you to delete it. However, you can disable it where people won't see it anymore. And then you can give it a description. So let me show you what this looks like if I was Nestor. And I'm going to come back to just creating. If I'm Nestor, under activity, I would see that, okay, I get this information that I need to get this updated by Thursday at 5 p.m. And I just go in and start updating this information. And so when it's complete, I can submit it and it goes to, come on, let me do it. This worked for me earlier.
Teresa.
Be nice. Yeah.
First of all, happy birthday. But I was going to say, you're missing some required fields down there. That's why you can't submit.
Thank you. Thank you. I was trying to rush through it. You always go through and test. There you go. And hit submit. So again, I remember when I was in the corporate world that we had to use this Excel spreadsheet to capture all this information. We met with him every week, and then we would cover it off. Here, I felt like this would have been so much easier to do this from Teams in that quick little form and provide the information. You can add attachments as well. So let me just go back to Adele. Hey, Thurman.
What's up? How you doing? And hello to everybody else too. What's going on? How you doing?
Thanks for joining.
Happy to be here.
It's a party today.
A birthday party, if you will.
A birthday party, no less.
You guys know not to encourage me, right? Okay, so I'm back in as Adele, and so you can start from scratch. Now, the form that I just created and shared with you was from scratch. I said, I know what questions I wanted to ask. I threw something together. Like I said, it took me like no more than 5 or 10 minutes to get that done, but they do have a lot of features, templates here available to you. And what I like, Microsoft is starting to do a lot of this now. You can at least preview it, because I used to, like, why do I have to create it to see what comes with it? You now can preview the forms and see what questions is available. You can easily go in and modify them. So I'm just going to create this one. And again, very easy. You got your name. If you want to edit it, you can do that. What I wanted to show you is that, let me do a new question. Add a question. With the questions, this is what's key. You can have a short answer or rich text. Rich text is going to give you the ability to have bold, italics, underline, and etc. Where short text is strictly, just going to text only, right? You have the ability to choose numbers. multiple choice, single choice, drop down, and enter in the date as well. So it's really easy to do. If you want to add another question, you can easily delete a question. And again, these settings that I kind of covered off before is what's really key. So a lot of people had said in tech community saying this is just really a team's task with a simplified version of Microsoft Forms, right? And some of the feedback that was given back in May of 2022, people were a little frustrated about, hey, this was really forms, a simplified form in Teams. Think about that you have these leaders who are not always tech savvy, but they want to do something short, quick, and easy, right? This is what this is who this is targeted to. You got a lot of power users who will spend time to learn forms and get more involved. That you want something short, sweet, and easy and effective to get the job done. Well, that's my demo. Any questions? Anybody have an aha moment? Do you think you would use this?
Yeah, and Teresa, whatever the demo Dan showed me, that recognition, I mean facial recognition, voice recognition, that will work for these new teams.
It will, but you need to set up the profile or the PowerShell in the tenant or those capabilities. It'll show up. It just says you don't have rights to do it.
Okay.
And we've
Thanks,
got a presentation in Denver. I think it's the 24th of April. So I'm sure we'll do a write-up of that once we get through it.
I was going to reiterate what Teresa said. It's super easy to sit there and think, here's Microsoft duplicating yet another, feature. But super important. One of the things that I like to mention all the time is that, yes, you have technology, but more important, you have people. So the people, the leadership are going to see this and be like, or let's say that they see the things we try to build for them and say, hey, you can go and do it yourself too. And they're going to be like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm busy. But if you just keep making it easier for them to a few clicks, especially something like, this had leadership in mind, because leadership is always, hey, give me a report. What you working on? This, that, and third. They're always doing that. So they're clearly thinking about leadership. So this is a good step in the right direction. I'll say that. So yeah, I just want to reiterate that. Good point, Teresa.
Yeah. And again, this is 2 years old, right? And like I said, I came across it about a month ago, and I just been really, diving in with it. I like it a lot. I like the fact that it's really simple. You don't have, because, I always go to tech community to see what they're saying and how they feel about it. And there's no branching, functionality, there's no logic around it. And my thoughts were, putting my leadership hat on is, I don't need all of that. I just want to know what you're working on, and if there's any, blockage, and what can I do to help? Right? Something short, sweet, and easy. Very good. Any other aha moments from folks?
So I just wanted to ask a question. Have anyone tried using Microsoft Teams Mesh? That's the one for the metaverse.
Yeah.
You've used it?
Yeah.
So how
in Teams?
How did you? So I got this recently.
How about Solomon? We do that next month for Mesh. Yeah. But what the one thing that I'm disappointed about Mesh is, because I'm a small business with a license of 1, I can't connect everybody here. At Christmas time, what I wanted to do was gather people together in this Mesh room, in this environment, as a Christmas gathering, and I couldn't do it because everybody has their own tenants. And so I know that personally, I've given Microsoft that feedback. I'm even willing to pay, this is just Teresa, I'm even willing to pay a small amount. Now, I don't want to pay a full $30 license or $20, but I will pay a small amount to have access to that for the folks that for an event that I'm having. Think about it like this, and even from a company perspective, small business perspective, you want to, instead of gathering at a restaurant or at a venue and have a Christmas event that's going to cost you thousands of dollars, that you bring them all into this environment. That's what I want to do, right?
Yeah. So let me know when you want to do that, because I've actually been exploring it with the Quest 3, the metaverse. Like, I've been seeing a lot and it's just mind blowing. So when you want to do that, I think I would love to also get the license, and probably we would go there together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've got a headset and I've got the license, so I can.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Will it work on the Oculus Quest 2?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah, so I can. And what license do we need? E3, E5? What do we need?
I think it's Teams Premium.
Premium.
So we sound like meshes on the agenda.
That
Like,
would be awesome.
I'm excited. I really wanted to test it out, and again, I was just a little disappointed that I could not do it from my tenant, under Teresa Track Creations for E, and simply because I'm one. So hopefully they open that up. I know that when Dan and I was at the MVP Summit a couple weeks ago, that I made sure that I touched base with the product managers and share them that feedback for sure.
Great.
Open it up to me sooner than later. Don't put that on the backlog.
That's great.
Okay.
Anything else?
So,
Anybody else want to share, or any thing that they've learned from the new teams that I didn't cover, and I just wanted to do something very high level?
yes, I'd like to add something. While you were checking the updates, I just searched for Copilot, and then I can see that you can actually test with Copilot for sales and Copilot for service. And Copilot for service is on preview currently. I saw that you can chat with Copilot for sales, and then it sent me a card. So I believe after this, but it's awesome, it's great. What else? Though I was also hearing about the fact that I think Teams would be separated from Office 365 for licensing. I don't know if there is any full information about that as well.
Teams is separated from the Copilot Pro license for personal, but Teams Premium has some of the same features from a meeting transcription and a meeting actions, I think, are the two things you get with Teams Premium that you also get with Copilot. Was that your question, like the difference between where Teams?
I think the question is about separating Teams from the Office app itself, right? Instead of selling it together with the Office app, you're separating it so that companies can actually get just Teams without paying for the Office app.
It's
you can E1 licenses, Paul.
It's the European Union saying that Microsoft have a monopoly.
Yeah.
So all the companies, Zoom and WebEx and all these other people are saying this is not fair. So they're separating it because of the European Union.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this has taken place like in the last 6 months or so. No more than a year that this is happening. It was actually in the news as big news, and they had to comply. They had no choice but to try to do that. So thanks for Paul for sharing that. And but yeah, it is separate. But the platform is kind of separate still, because I know that when I update my Office applications, the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, they update together, and Teams have its own separate updates, right? So you can actually go into Teams and say, make sure I'm always checking if I got the latest updates or not. And so, but they are a little separate in that sense.
Even when you want to download it, it doesn't download with the Office app when you're downloading it from the
Right.
Office portal. You have to still go and download it separately.
Wow.
So let me ask. Too bad that we're in streams that we don't have reactions. But how many people like the new teams? I do. As soon as they rolled the preview out, I immediately did not go back to the old teams. So
Do you know one of the best thing I love about it? The ability to add multiple accounts. I always dream about
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
So it was one of the amazing features. Once I just saw that I could add multiple accounts, immediately I just turned on. I think that was right from the first time it was released. So yeah, and it's been amazing.
mhm. So yeah, he's referring to this right here. Been able to easily
Yeah.
switch between. Can you guys see my screen still?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
That you can easily switch. I think Dan and I are running a close race on how many tenants that we have access to. So for me to easily to switch between these, and I'm always like, I feel like I'm switching hats. And that was one of the main reasons why I stayed with the new teams. Anybody else? Paul, I know you've been wanting to share.
I'm just wondering if anyone's heard about walkie-talkie in Teams.
Say that again.
Yes, it's in the
Walkie-talkie.
settings.
Walkie-talkie was in the mobile
Yeah.
version. I don't remember if it's still there. It might be.
Yeah.
It's
But
crazy.
I've never used it. Have you tried it?
Oh my
I
god!
tried it when it came out.
I tried several times. I'm working as a company, right? So if you have any, urgent things, we need to pick up something, deliveries and everything. We can talk to that stuff, and immediately they will pick that walkie-talkie handle. Yeah.
So
It's
what's your experience, Paul?
Well, I've only used it to demonstrate it, but it's just the idea that you could be running a project or an event or a conference and everybody's on the same channel and everybody can have the same walkie-talkie. It's mind-blowing how good it works. It really is.
That I know that because I remember doing the history on Microsoft Teams, that the
Yeah.
reason why they developed that is for the front line, right? So think about, I'm just thinking of a Walmart or
Oh,
yeah, like a Walmart or Best Buy, and
oh,
they already have the Microsoft Teams application. Here they can use that functionality where everybody can, for a business. I don't think it's really designed for organizations or even a small business, but definitely for retail.
that makes sense. But I was thinking if you're in a
I
big
just think
company,
the medical can also
Yeah.
industry would benefit from that. Manufacturing, when you have the guys out in the plant, needing to communicate with one another. I've never tried it because I always have my organization hat on, right? But it's great for frontline.
I think also you can use it if you're organizing a big event. And
Absolutely.
channel and you've got one big thing to organize.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can be in the same place at the same time. I've tested it and I was using it with my friend across Europe, and I'm chatting to this guy on a walkie-talkie, and he's 1,000 miles away from me, and it's like we're just chatting to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary how good it is.
That's a great video. The next time you do that, film yourself and going through that process. I would love to see that.
Okay, I will. Well, when we do our challenge of Outlook together, we'll sort something out. I definitely will. The only thing I want to talk about is Microsoft is PowerPoint Morph. That's the only thing I live for at the moment. It's just
That's really cool.
It's the only thing I live for. I don't care about anything else at the moment. I've even stopped dating. I've stopped dating because I'm using PowerPoint Morph.
So is that what happens is you go on a date and you're talking about morph?
No, I don't go on dates anymore because they don't morph. It's just a bit boring. It's crazy. But yeah, I formed it. I really, really can't stop talking about morph because it's such a beautiful
I do a lot on PowerPoint. There's a lot more to PowerPoint than Morph.
True.
Not that I know. No, that's all I know. The only thing I know is more. It's my current life.
Anybody else have anything? I'm looking at the time. We're actually and 5 minutes over because we did start at around 3:05. But anything else around Microsoft Teams?
Yes.
I'm going to actually do a lot more videos around it. I can tell you, if you look at the roadmap, that's what's coming for Teams. It's pretty exciting, and I have to learn to separate what's standard and what's premium.
Yeah.
But I am hearing, and this was great for you, Paul, and myself, who are trainers, and we do these events, and people taking screenshots. They're going to prevent that coming soon.
But will they be able to stop you doing the recording when you press Windows G?
Yeah.
Windows Alt and R. Can that be stopped? That's a dangerous tool.
I
Gaming,
say that again.
the gaming
Windows,
recording.
the gaming recording. That's a really dangerous tool if you know how that works.
Yeah. I believe that is something is coming into place because I think Microsoft is aware of it as well. Think about it from the MVP standpoint. They don't want people to record, on their own or whatever. And so, but I do like the fact if they are stopping screenshots, because I was actually on a call and I'm good for that. I'm always taking screenshots, and I couldn't. So I'm looking forward to, that's one feature that I'm looking forward to. Okay. Well, I'm not going to extend this any longer because as soon as I hang up on this call, it is my day and I'm already
Enjoy your birthday, yeah?
starting.
There you go.
There it is. I'm already starting.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Teresa.
Thank you.
Happy
Okay, so I have
birthday.
something to add. Happy birthday, Teresa. I have something
Thank
to add as regards Microsoft Teams. So firstly is the fact that Microsoft Teams on mobile, you can easily add your work account and you can add your personal accounts without any issues. So I was saying to the news, I don't know if it's confirmed that we'll be able to add our personal account and work account on our Microsoft Teams that's work accounts. And I also like the fact that you can easily switch because I'm very sure most of us we use like 4 to 5 different accounts, developer accounts, work accounts, and you can easily switch. So that one was really an advantage. But I think personal account is not yet incorporated in Microsoft Teams.
Mhm. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Again, we meet every first Thursday of the month at 3:00 Eastern time. Feel free to reach out to any of us if you have, some information, knowledge sharing that you want to share with this group. We definitely will encourage you and share your information. All right. Thanks.
Thanks
Yeah,
all.
thanks, yeah.